What's the weather like in Rome in June? What should you pack? What should you wear? These are the questions I get asked most often about visiting Rome in June. If you're planning on visiting Rome this month, you're going to want to know how to dress, of course, but there's actually a lot I want to tell you about visiting Rome in June. If you're new to my channel, I'm Alyssa, and through our websites RomeWise and FlorenceWise and this YouTube channel, we've been helping thousands of visitors get the most out of their stay in Rome, Florence, and other parts of Italy. So on today's video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about visiting Rome in June, such as the weather, what to pack, what to wear, great things to do, and what you can expect. The first thing you need to know about visiting Rome in June is what the weather's like. June is technically mostly a spring month for about the first 3 weeks. And I think the weather is just perfect. It's not too hot and it's comfortable enough in the evenings to eat outside, but it really is the end of spring, and I would say that most of June feels like a summer month where the weather is concerned. It's not as crazy hot as the weather we're going to get in July and August, but you can pretty much count on being able to wear short sleeves, shorts, short pants, skirts, etc. We don't get much rainfall in Rome in June, but it could rain, so I would bring something like a light shell just in case. If you're visiting Rome at the end of June, it's definitely summer weather. So what should you pack when you're visiting Rome in June? Remember my #1 rule for what to wear anytime you're visiting Rome, and that is to be comfortable. I would suggest packing clothes made of lightweight natural fabrics like cotton or linen. I would suggest bringing some sleeveless tops, but also some t-shirts, even a cardigan, because in the evenings you just never know. In the beginning of June, you might consider bringing a light jacket, such as a lightweight waterproof shell. Towards the end of June, you might not need a jacket, but I still suggest bringing a cardigan. This is the time of year you probably don't need to bring jeans here. I would suggest lightweight cotton pants, maybe some capri pants, long shorts, skirts, and dresses. I have talked about this in another video. I don't think you need to stress so much about trying to blend in with the Romans. Rome is packed with tourists. You're a tourist, dress in a way that makes you comfortable. That being said, you probably won't see too many Romans running around Rome in short shorts or beach attire. So if you want to wear shorts, even short shorts, go ahead. But you should know that for visiting any holy site, which includes, of course, the Vatican, but really any church, holy site, synagogue, mosque, even the catacombs, there is a dress code. The dress code for visiting holy sites across Italy is pretty simple. It requires modesty, so no bare shoulders, no bare midriffs, and no bare knees. This applies to everyone of all ages. If you're planning to visit the Vatican when you visit Rome, I would bring at least one outfit that's appropriate for that day. I know many of you say to me things like, well, my teenage boys cannot stand to wear pants, they need to wear shorts, and is it okay if they come to the knees? I get this question all the time, and I'm here to tell you that I am not a Vatican guard. The rules are that knees are supposed to be covered. And then you're going to look at some of the footage I have of people inside of St. Peter's Basilica, and you're going to say, well, I see some people in there with shorts that come to just their knees. You could try to get away with this. Again, I'm here to tell you that it is not up to me. And if you've come all this way and you go all the way down to the Vatican, it's pretty icky to have to be turned away and have to go looking for some scarf to buy to tie around, your waist so you can cover up and go back inside. Here's how I dress when I know I'm going to be visiting the Vatican or any other holy site in Rome. I usually wear a sundress that comes to just below my knee, and it's usually short sleeve like this because it can get hot in June, but I have a cardigan or scarf with me so I can throw it on for going into the Vatican or any other church. If I don't wear a sundress, then I might wear a pair of loose-fitting cotton sort of capri-length pants, because these are also comfortable and cool, and again, a top like this. But again, I bring a cardigan or a scarf with me so I can cover up. For those of you with teenage boys or the men in your family, or frankly, really anybody who says they do not want to have to wear long pants in hot weather, here's my suggestion. One option is to simply purchase some really lightweight linen pants. These are great for walking around Rome, and I don't think you'll be hot, especially if you wear sandals with them. But if this is not for you and you want to wear shorts, there is a good solution. I go hiking a lot, and I love these hiking pants with removable bottoms. So basically, you just unzip the bottoms and you can walk around and you're wearing shorts, and then when you get to the Vatican, just take them out of your bag and zip them on, and so you'll be properly dressed for visiting the Vatican or any other holy site. Then when you're done with your visit, just zip them back off, pop them back in your bag, and you're wearing shorts. Here are a couple more things I suggest bringing with you when you visit Rome in June. 2 pairs of shoes, 1 pair of super comfortable walking sandals and another pair of closed-toed shoes. And with the closed-toed shoes, don't forget to wear super comfortable socks because this makes a difference. My favorite socks for walking around Rome are called Features, and I love them because they have different weights. So in summer, I'm going to get those super lightweight socks. And then in cooler weather, I just wear the heavier socks. Both the sandals and your closed-toed shoes should be shoes that you have already broken in, that are super comfortable for walking. They have a good sole, and you can walk around in them for hours. The next thing to bring with you, and this is something I say in every packing video and on all my packing pages, is a scarf. And this is true for men and women. Why would you wear a scarf in June when it's summer and the weather's so nice? Well, as I said, it's a great way to cover up when you want to visit a church or holy site. But a super lightweight scarf can also be nice in the evenings when you're going out and maybe the temperatures drop just a little bit, there's a breeze, so having a super light cotton summer scarf is a great idea. And it doesn't weigh much, so why not? And lastly, for this summer weather, don't forget your sunglasses, a hat, and sunscreen. Rome in June is so beautiful. It is full of flowers everywhere. Bougainvillea, jasmine, the city smells absolutely beautiful. But this means you probably want to carry a little bit of bug spray with you. Now, you don't have to pack this. You can buy this here in Rome, either at a pharmacy or just about any grocery store. Another thing you might want to bring with you is a collapsible water bottle. When you're visiting Rome in summer and it's hot, you're definitely going to want to hydrate. Now, the great thing about Rome is that we have all these water fountains all over the city. They're called nasoni, which means big nose. They're also called fontanelle, little fountains, and you can just go right up to them and drink from them. But if you have your own water bottle, you can also fill up your water bottle so that you have water that you can drink when you're walking around. Yes, the water is clean, it's free, it's safe, and it's delicious. Yes, Rome in June is crowded. June is one of those months when everyone wants to come here. A lot of people are out of school, everyone starts taking vacation right now, and it's high travel season all around Europe. The days are long, sunny, and pleasant, and it's not too hot for sightseeing, so it's a very appealing time to visit Rome. So what that means is that you are going to want to have to plan ahead and book a few things in advance. The things I suggest you book in advance are the Vatican, the Colosseum, maybe the Galleria Borghese if that's on your list, and at least 1 or 2 restaurants if you have some where you really want to eat. Because of the crowds, I'm going to suggest that you consider visiting some lesser-known sites and museums, such as the Doria Pamphili, Galleria Spada, and Palazzo Barberini. Let's start with the Vatican. I have many videos on this channel about visiting the Vatican, so you can check those out if you want to know more. Now, the 2 sites that you want to visit at the Vatican Museums where the Sistine Chapel is, and St. Peter's Basilica, you can just show up at both of these sites, stand in line, and go inside. But I really don't recommend this when you're visiting Rome in June. This is especially true for the Vatican Museums. If you just show up and stand in line, you're looking at least an hour wait time. So I really suggest booking your Vatican Museums tickets in advance. The Vatican Museums does not have a cap on daily visitors, so you can just show up and get a ticket for same-day purchase, but again, I just don't think this is a great use of your vacation time. Also, unless you show up first thing in the morning, you're going to be standing in long lines in the heat. If you visit the Vatican Museum's website, which I'm linking to in the description below, you may find that tickets for June are sold out because they do sell out in advance. And since June is such a popular month to visit Rome, you are probably going to find them sold out. If you find tickets to the Vatican Museum sold out on the official site, you can use a third party to purchase entry tickets if you want to. These tickets are unlikely to be canceled because, as I said, the Vatican doesn't run out of tickets. You're just going to have to pay a small surcharge because you're booking through a third party. But to me, this is preferable to standing in long lines in the sun. You might also consider taking a tour of the Vatican Museums, which I highly recommend. You can book a tour through the Vatican Museum's website, but if you want a more complete experience, maybe one that allows you to take the shortcut from the Sistine Chapel into St. Peter's Basilica, you're going to have to book through a third party. And tours booked through third parties are also unlikely to be canceled. As I said, I've got lots of videos about visiting the Vatican, so you can watch those if you want more tips. Now, if you don't book a tour of the Vatican Museums that takes the shortcut into St. Peter's Basilica, you can just visit the Basilica on your own. The Basilica is free for everyone. You just have to show up, go through security, which is sort of like airport security, and you're in. In 2025, St. Peter's Basilica added a new booking system. I did a separate video all about this, so you can watch that if you want more details. Suffice to say, you can now book your visit to St. Peter's Basilica. Basically, to book your visit to St. Peter's Basilica, you book an audio guide. And people that have a booking for this audio guide get to go in a different line, and it's usually a much shorter security line than people who don't have a booking. So the booking for St. Peter's Basilica is not a skip the line per se, but usually your line is shorter. By the way, you can also now book to climb St. Peter's Dome. Just know that these bookings start from 10:30 a.m. So if you want to go when the dome opens around 7:30 or 8 o'clock, you're just going to have to go on your own without a booking. And I've talked about this in another video, but if you do book your visit to climb St. Peter's Dome, it does come with that audio guide and entry to St. Peter's Basilica. My tips for booking and visiting the Colosseum are a little bit different than for the Vatican. First of all, your visit to the Colosseum includes a one-time entrance to the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill. That's a huge park which is outdoors, and also your visit to the Colosseum is outdoors. You're going to be inside the monument but under the sun. So as we're getting into these hot summer temperatures, I would suggest visiting these sites either early in the morning or later in the day. So for example, you could book your Colosseum visit for say 8:30, visit the Colosseum, maybe take a lunch break, and then go visit the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill in the afternoon. But because your Colosseum tickets allow for entry to the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill within 24 hours of your Colosseum booking, you could also visit them on separate days. So if you have, say, a 9:30 a.m. Colosseum entry time on a Tuesday, then you could visit the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill going inside sometime after 9:30 on Monday or before 9:30 on Wednesday. Either way, this is another site that I highly suggest booking in advance. Yes, they do sell same-day tickets, but again, you're looking at standing in long lines in the heat. When you visit the area where the Colosseum is and the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill are nearby, you're going to see a lot of people standing in line. So some of these lines are to purchase tickets, and other of these lines are to go through security. Now, nobody can skip the line to go through security, but you can skip the lines to purchase tickets by booking them in advance online. This is not the video where I'm going to get into why it's so difficult to purchase tickets to the Colosseum Underground or the Attico. Suffice to say that my biggest piece of advice for booking your tickets to the Colosseum is this. Standard entry tickets to the Colosseum are easy to get, and with these tickets, you really do see 99% of everything you want to see at the Colosseum. And if you want a full experience ticket, a ticket that gives you just a little bit more and also access to the super sites in the Roman Forum and the Palatine Hill, I suggest going for the arena floor. One of two tickets you can get for the arena floor, one of which allows you full access to the Colosseum, and the other of which gives you just a 20-minute access to the arena floor and nothing else, but still the Roman Forum and Palatine Hill. The two tickets to the arena floor are pretty easy to get. The tickets to the arena floor that are just the 20 minutes version, those are available up to 30 days in advance. The full experience arena floor tickets are only available up to 7 days in advance. But standard entry Colosseum tickets are really easy to get, even for same-day purchase. Now, if you're looking to book a tour of the Colosseum, I also recommend this because if you take a tour, you get a lot more out of your visit, in my opinion. You can book a tour through the Colosseum website, but this is just a basic tour of the monument itself, or you can book a tour through a third party, which gives you a more complete experience. And by more complete experience, I mean that only tours booked through outside tour companies give you a tour of also the Roman Forum and the Palatine Hill. Yes, you can book a tour through a third party of the Colosseum with the Colosseum Underground. Just know that due to the delicate nature of the site and space constraints, there are a limited number of tickets available for visiting the Colosseum Underground on any given day. And what this means is that not everybody who wants to visit the Colosseum Underground will be able to do so. Now, if you can book this through the official Colosseum website, great, your ticket is definitely not going to be canceled. But if you book it through a third party, you're pretty likely to have your tour, but there is a chance that your tour will be canceled because if the tour is being offered more than 30 days in advance, they don't have the tickets yet, so they're hoping to get the tickets. So this is up to you. If you really want to book the Underground, try to get it on your own through the official site, or consider booking through a third party. But if you're booking the Colosseum Underground through a third party, I would suggest doing this less than 30 days in advance, because that means that they already have the tickets and your tour is unlikely to be canceled. Now, if you are wondering how to set up your itinerary for visiting Rome besides the Vatican and the Colosseum, I have a perfect 3-day itinerary video and a page on the RomeWise website. And this 3-day itinerary is included in my Rome in June ebook. If you want to download that ebook, I've got a link for it in the description below. And speaking of my books, I have beautiful photo color books of Rome in spring and Rome in summer, and I've got links to those in the description below as well. One thing I love about Italy is that food is regional and seasonal. Right now, the markets are full of summer fruits and vegetables, and they're bursting with color. In June, you can still see some spring fruits and vegetables like beans, asparagus, and strawberries, but we're starting to see the fruits and vegetables that are more abundant in summer. This is one of the best times of year to buy tomatoes. You're also going to see a lot of those stone fruits like peaches, apricots, cherries. And speaking of tomatoes, this is the time of year you're going to start seeing one of my favorite Roman dishes, which is pomodori a riso, which is just tomatoes stuffed with rice. Very simple dish, but full of flavor. Now, I used to say that you will not find artichokes in Rome in June because they are completely out of season. But this is not really the case any longer. It's not that they're in season in Rome in June, it's just that because people want them, you will find them. They're just not in season and they're not from Rome. If you want to know more about Roman cuisine, I would suggest taking a food tour. Because food tours usually involve walking around outside and stopping to eat, I think June is a great month for this because the weather is so pleasant. Another vegetable that's coming into season right now are zucchini. And that means zucchini flowers or zucchini blossoms, which we call fiori di zucca. You will find fiori di zucca in Rome year-round now, but really they're at their best this time of year. One way we love to have fiori di zucca is on a white pizza. Typically, this is just a white pizza like a focaccia with some mozzarella, some fiori di zucca, and alici or anchovies. Now, if you are not an anchovy person, you can ask for this pizza without the anchovies, but you should be aware that fiori di zucca are really mild, so if you don't have the anchovies there, the pizza could be pretty bland. And another favorite way to eat fiori di zucca, again year-round, is with pizza or as an appetizer before you eat pizza. In my opinion, the best way to have these fiori di zucca before your pizza is fried. They're stuffed with mozzarella, anchovies, battered, and then fried. I know of one place in Rome that makes them without anchovies, and that's Pizzeria Emma, but I really do love them with the anchovies because it does give it that extra kick of flavor. There are 2 big holidays in Rome in June that you should be aware of. June 2nd is the Festa della Repubblica, the anniversary of the date in 1946 when Italy abolished the monarchy and became a republic. The big thing that happens on June 2nd is a ceremony at the Vittoriano and a parade down the Via dei Fori Imperiali. And at around 9 a.m., there is a flyover by the Frecce Tricolori, the Italian Air Force with those beautiful red, green, and white contrails. June 29th is a holiday that is specific to Rome. You won't find this in any other city in Italy. June 29th is San Pietro e Paolo, Saints Peter and Paul, the patron saints of Rome. On this day at the Vatican, St. Peter gets dressed up in this beautiful red robe, and there will be a papal mass in St. Peter's Square that you can attend if you like. It's free, you just have to request tickets. On this day, the Vatican museums are closed, but not much else in Rome is affected. So there are some special things that you can do in Rome in June because of the weather, because of how long the days are. Let's start with the Colosseum. Typically in summer, the Colosseum offers night tours. The start dates for this seem to change every year, but pretty consistently they are on in June. Check the official Colosseum website to be sure they're happening when you're visiting. The Vatican museums used to offer night visits this time of year, but now they're open daily until 8 p.m. So if you want to visit the Vatican museums, quote unquote, at night, you're going to have to go around 5:30 p.m. This is a great time of year to go to a rooftop bar. Rome has exploded with these rooftop bars in recent years. I have a page on the RomeWise website, which I'm linking to in the description below, where I list my favorite rooftop bars, but really there are just so many in Rome. And because it has become so popular, if you really want to do this, I would suggest booking in advance. Another great thing to do in Rome in June is to go to the Summerfest along the Tiber River. Every year this starts around the first week of June. Sometimes it's the 1st, sometimes it's the 7th, but you can count on there being this big summer fest with these tents set up and places to eat and drink and things to do, shops, music. It's a lot of fun. The summer fest is held every night and it's free for everyone. In previous years, we've had these wonderful light shows along the Via dei Fori Imperiali. There was one for the Forum of Augustus and another for the Forum of Julius Caesar, but recently they seem to have taken away the one in the Forum of Augustus and only the one for the Forum of Julius Caesar has remained. Because this seems to be changing from year to year, I'm just going to link to the official website in the description below, and you can check there to see if it's happening, and if so, which forum they're showing and what the schedules are and how to get tickets. Another cool thing to do in Rome in June that not many people know about is to visit Rome's Rosetto Rose Garden. The garden is actually famous for being open only during the month of May, but actually it opens on Rome's birthday, April 21st, and it's open all the way through about the second week of June. And actually recently it's been reopening for a couple of weeks in October as well. Speaking of gardens, this is a great time of year to visit sites like the Vatican gardens, but also to take a day trip outside of Rome to visit Tivoli and the gardens of Nympha. Speaking of rooftop bars and eating and drinking outside, you're gonna find that pretty much every restaurant that can will have tables outside, so if you enjoy dining outside, you can do this pretty much all over Rome. By the way, if you want to know a little tidbit, we don't say dining al fresco because al fresco actually means in jail. I'm actually a fan of eating indoors, particularly when it's hot outside. I'm a fan of air conditioning, people not smoking, and street vendors not trying to sell me stuff while I'm eating. But you should know something about air conditioning in Italy. In Italy, people are just not as big fans of air conditioning as they are in other parts of the world. So you may find that the air conditioning in shops, museums, restaurants, etc. is not quite as strong as you may be used to. When you go to book your hotel or apartment, make sure that you have access to air conditioning that you can control. And before you get into a taxi, make sure the driver is willing to turn on the AC if you want them to. There are 2 dates every month when sites are free. On the first Sunday of every month across Italy, state-run sites are free for everyone. State-run sites include the Colosseum, Roman Forum, Palatine Hill, also Pompeii, the Uffizi, etc. But there are lots of state-run sites that you can visit that are going to be a little bit less crowded because the Colosseum is going to be mobbed. On the free Sunday, I suggest visiting slightly lesser-known sites such as the Baths of Caracalla or Trajan's Market. In Rome, civic museums are also free for everyone. Civic museums include the Capitoline museums, which are probably the most popular and where you'll find the longest lines. But I suggest visiting slightly less popular museums like the Arapashis and my favorite, Trajan's Market. On the last Sunday of every month, the Vatican museums are open and free. Normally on Sundays, the Vatican museums are closed, but on the last Sunday of the month, they're open with reduced hours. I don't know of any outside tour companies that offer tours of the Vatican museums on the free Sunday, but you can book a tour of the Vatican museums on the free Sunday through the Vatican Museum's website. Remember, this tour will not allow you access to the shortcut into St. Peter's Basilica. You're going to have to visit that separately. But on the free Sunday, you can expect long lines because everybody wants to take advantage of the free Sunday, and because the hours are reduced, the lines are really long. So the only way I know of to avoid that is to book this tour through the Vatican Museum's website, if you can find availability. Otherwise, just get down there as early as you can, or know that you're going to be standing in a pretty long line. One last great thing you can do in Rome in June is to head to the beach. I've got a video about all my favorite beaches near Rome, but the closest and easiest to get to is Ostia Lido. So what do you guys think? Are you planning to come to Rome in June? Did I answer your questions? Drop me a line in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And for more about what to pack for Rome in summer, don't miss my video right here.